Welcome once again to Chelan County Connection. I'm your host, Randy Rhodes. Today, our guest on the podcast, Marisol Woodward. Marisol, welcome.
Thank you.
Very excited about learning about jury duty and, what goes into it, the process. But first, tell us a little bit about yourself and what do you do as a jury administrator for Chelan County?
Thank you. Yes. So my name, is Marisol Woodward. I have lived in this valley for over 25 years. I have an incredible husband and two amazing daughters. I have worked for Chelan County for over 20 years, and the last 5 years I've been the Chelan County Jury Administrator, and I really enjoy my position. And to give you an idea of what my responsibility is, essentially is to make sure that jurors report when needed for jury duty. And every month, to give you another idea, depending on the month, we can summons between 2,300 jurors up to 3,000. And the reason is because it just depends on how many potential jury trials can go per month. We can have up to 27 groups calling per month, and I juggle them around and make sure that I communicate with you to make sure you know what to do when you're calling for your group. And when you report, if your group does report, you don't know if you're showing up for a district court jury trial or a superior court one. For Chelan County, unlike other counties, my role is to make sure jurors report for both of the courts. And when you report, like I was saying, you don't know if you're going to show up for a district court one or superior court. And there is a slight difference. When you show up for a district court trial, those last like about a day, and a superior court one could be multiple days.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's
that's
that's a lot of summons going out.
yeah, it's a large number. We can have a lot of potential trials go every month. So that is why we summons that many. So I
So
keep pretty busy.
I see that. So Marisol, let's kind of take a dive right in. We know most of us will see a jury summons at some point. Tell us what a jury summons is and why
Mhm.
you feel serving on a jury, they call it our civic duty, why that's
Mhm.
so important for community members.
Okay, sure. So, jury service or jury duty is a vital function of our democracy. People have a right to a trial by an impartial jury. Like you said, it is your civic duty. There's really no way around it unless you don't qualify or there are special circumstances. And just to give you an idea of the process, when you are summoned, what you will receive by mail, it will look something like this, and it will say on there, jury summons enclosed, and it's an official document. It is a valid document, and what you do with that is you will open it up, and inside there you will find a jury form. It's long form here, and we can get into a lot of the details, but I'll just kind of summarize what it is. So this questionnaire here, you will fill it out and return it within 10 days. And then you will keep this top portion here. And I can't stress enough, it's very important to keep this top portion here because that has all the important information you need for your call and date, your group. And then on the back of the form, it's going to have more information because there's always a lot of questions, and this should answer a lot of your questions. And lucky you guys, you get my direct phone number back here. So if you have any questions, just give me a call and I can answer them. And if I don't answer, leave me a message. I will call you back.
I know from firsthand experience you will.
Yes.
So, Marisol, three quick questions, if I could.
Mhm,
First of all, what's the procedure behind how people are summoned and
mhm.
how the names are selected?
Yes. So yeah, I think it's important for people to understand because it's not common knowledge how names are drawn. So I never know who's going to be summoned until I receive a response. So how it works is on the state level, they will take names from Department of Licensing, whether you have a driver's license or an ID, and they also take names from voter registration. So they randomly select names from those agencies, and that's how we receive the names for jury. So it's done on another level, and I just ask for the numbers, and then I receive the jurors. So that's how it works. So people don't know that, but that's how it works.
All right, let's move on to this one. When
Mhm.
someone is summoned,
Mhm.
what are the next steps that they need to take specifically?
Okay. All right. So once you receive this questionnaire, now we can go into a little more details. When you fill this out, you will sign and date it and return it to us. You can either mail it to us or you can respond online. I highly recommend responding online because if you request to be excused or postponed, you will get a quicker response that way. Whereas if you mail it, I'm not exaggerating, my pile is just enormous and it takes me a little bit to go through that and sort it to get back to you. But the instructions will be on the top part that you keep. And it will state on there that you when you need to call, which is always on a Friday after 5 p.m. And to give you an idea, let's say you're in group three, when you call in on a Friday after 5 p.m. or anytime that weekend, because we won't be here, it'll be current through the weekend. It might say something like, this is a recording message for group three. Don't report on Monday, but please call again on whatever day we might need you. And you always call after 5 p.m. And keep in mind, you can report the next working day. We typically don't have a trial going on Monday, but it's possible. So on a Friday, it could say report Monday. So basically, it's important to call your specific group and follow those instructions.
Say, is it hard to pinpoint how long jury service would be?
So, like I was saying earlier, when you report, you don't know actually if you're here for a district court trial or a superior court one, but you will know that morning through the selection process. They will let you know. Like I said, district court trials they tend to go only like a 1 day, and then superior court that can go multiple days. So you will be notified that morning of through the process of how long the trial can go.
All right, our guest this time out on Chelan County Connection, Marisol Woodward, jury administrator for our very own Chelan County. Now, what are some of the common questions that you get asked by potential jurors?
Yeah, so one of the most common one, and actually today I probably have spoken to about 20 people about this, is I moved out of the county. Why am I still receiving these summonses? So it's very important because, like I mentioned before, names are drawn from Department of Licensing and voter registration that you change your address when you move. That is the key. So when you move within Chelan County, you'll update your address hopefully with these agencies, and then that will work out so that you get summoned still in Chelan County. And then, but if you move out of the county, that's when it can be a little trickier out of the state. So when you move out of the county, if you don't update your address with those agencies, you can still be summoned in Chelan County. So it's very important to change your address. But when you move out of state, that's when it gets a little tricky because when you move into the new state and you settle in and then you eventually get your driver's license and register to vote, unfortunately you're still in the system in Washington state, and it's your responsibility to follow up with those agencies to let them know that you have moved to a new state, so you're not having to your name in the system in two states basically. So that's a very common one. So make sure you change your address.
Marisol, real quick, we were talking before the show. Say somebody has a small business and
Hmm.
they run it themselves. They don't
Yeah.
have any employees.
Yes, we understand that's a very difficult position for some people in that situation. So, what I would recommend is just give me a call and let's see what we can work out with you to work better for your schedule.
Anything else like people asking, I get two summons a year, my neighbor never gets one, this
Yeah,
kind of
yeah.
thing.
Yeah. So sometimes what happens is a person can be double summoned, but in Chelan County, you only get summoned once a year. But if somebody moves or someone gets married and changes their name and they change it with their driver's license, but they don't change it with their voter registration, the system might think they are two separate people, so they get summoned twice. But we make sure that they are excused for one of them. And then other times, a person might request to be excused, and a request to be excused doesn't mean it's going to be automatically granted. We will sometimes just postpone a person out because they didn't provide a date they would be available. So they might think they were summoned twice, but it's really they were just postponed, just to clarify.
Marisol, everywhere we turn, everywhere we look, somebody's got a scam going on.
Yes, unfortunately, yes.
And it happens time to time, a few times a year. Scammers like to call people and say that they are literally with the Chelan County Clerk's office or the sheriff's office, and
Mm-hmm.
they will say you've missed jury duty. Now you have a fine to pay, or a
Mm-hmm.
warrant is going to be put out for your arrest. How do we unwind all that? Tell us what
Yeah.
happens in those cases.
We would never call anyone and threaten them and ask them for more personal information or ask for money. We do not do that. If you miss jury, we are going to send you a postcard saying you missed it and you just need to get a hold of us. But we recommend that if you do go as far as in believing that you do owe money or whatever it is. Once you realize if it is a scam, that you realize it's a scam, we recommend you contact the Federal Trade Commission at ftc.gov to report it. So hopefully, if they get a note, they can do something about it. Because I really wish that these people would stop doing this to people in our community because it is a horrible thing. I've heard people of the money that they gotten from them, and it's up to thousands of dollars.
I will
It's unfortunate.
bet that you have heard some very creative, shall we say, excuses
Yeah.
as to why somebody cannot do jury duty. Can you share
Mhm.
or recall, maybe some of the
Yeah.
more creative or
Yeah.
memorable
Absolutely.
excuses people tell
Yeah.
you they try to get out of jury duty?
People say like we were talking about earlier, I have to work, so I cannot come to jury. But unfortunately, we will not excuse you for work because work has to give you have the right to go to a jury, and they can't stop you from going to report if needed. But some of the other comments or statements made on some of the summonses are, a little interesting. You might get something like, I just don't want to do it, but we're not going to excuse you for that. You get, everyone is guilty. Yeah, that could be your opinion, but doesn't mean you will be excused. I've had, it's my sister's birthday, so I can't go to jury. Well, we're not going to excuse you for that. And then one of them that sticks out is, I have no one to watch my dogs. And so,
Marisol, any final thoughts before we cut you loose today?
yeah, I do want to remind people that if your group does have to report and you are not feeling good, please do not show up. Call us and leave us a message. We do not want you there sick. And then I will call you back and we will take care of it. And also, like, if your group reports, then you don't make the final cut, you are done calling in and done for the term. So you don't have to call in for the term the second time.
All right, our guest this time out on Chelan County Connection, jury administrator for Chelan County, Marisol Woodward. And again, thank you. Great to meet you, and carry on.
Thank you for having me.